Hey guys, I wanted to make a short, or let's see how short I can make it, video sharing my heart about some struggles that I've gone through as a stay-at-home wife and mother these last 7.5 years. I think that it was a very internal battle for me in the beginning when I first became a wife, and then even more so when I became a mother. And I think it's kind of the curse of being really intentional. I'm a very intentional person. I care a lot about how I use my time and the relationships in my life, and I want to invest and give of myself and create beautiful relationships and a beautiful atmosphere and a love and joyful and peaceful place for my family. I want to serve them, and all of those things are great, awesome, biblical. The problem comes when we start to add to scripture and heap condemnation and guilt on ourselves and add laws that are not even in scripture. So because they're not in scripture, then we end up feeling terrible and condemned, and this is not what the Lord wants for us. The guidelines in scripture are not super specific. They're very general. And so every home is going to look different, and every family is going to look different, and every marriage is going to look different. And that's great and beautiful and fun and awesome that we can see people of just diversity across the board, but still everyone loving and serving the Lord and obeying the Lord, right? So what I did to myself, and maybe you can relate to this, maybe you think I'm crazy because you're so laid back, thumbs up to you. I made this little square for myself, and in the square was my faith. I was a Christian. I was a mother and a wife and a homemaker and any church-related things. And if I stepped out of that square, I felt guilty because I was adding to God's law. I was limiting myself to what I was allowed to do with my life. I made this little square that I had to live in, and that is not biblical, you guys. So my first breakthrough was when my youngest son was about 18 months, and I've mentioned this in some videos in the past. I came to my husband crying, thinking, what is wrong? Why do I feel so isolated and stuck, and like this is all I do is nurse babies and change diapers, and I love my identity as a wife and mother, but why do I feel so guilty when I do anything that isn't related to that? And he was like, you shouldn't be feeling that way. That's silly. You have interests of your own and skills that you have that God's gifted you with. You should use them. Go do something. So I made my YouTube channel. That was my first breakthrough, right? And I found such fulfillment in that. It has been such a joy and such a fun journey to get to know so many people, to get to hear how the Lord has used my videos to minister to others around the world. And he has used that to show me I don't have to stay in this little square that I created for myself because it's not of the Lord. I made that up. So that was my first breakthrough. I also, however, felt very guilty about other things. My food truck business, going and working with my mom on occasion, traveling, anything that meant me not being in the house, even forget just traveling. Traveling was a huge step later down the road, but even just girls' nights out or Bible studies, I would feel so guilty leaving the house. Like this was my burden to carry, my responsibility. And my husband was like, these are my kids too, don't worry, go, you know? And I just had heaped all this responsibility on myself, which is not what the Lord wanted for me. So leaving the kids with anybody else, having girls' night out, traveling, forget that. And slowly the Lord has shown me that I can break out of this box, and I do all of these things now. My most recent has been more travel without my family, which has been crazy. And the way that I've been traveling is through my Juice Plus business. Juice Plus was also another breakthrough because this has nothing to do with being a homemaker or a wife or a mom or church related. There have been many wonderful